What's up, everybody? We're here on episode 3 of the Empire Podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Anthony, as always. And we got a special guest speaker today, our loan partner here at the Empire Realty Group, and a wonderful woman. Go ahead, introduce yourself for everybody.
Hey guys, I'm Rose with Direction Home Loans, a loan officer and partner with the Empire Realty team.
She's a mother, a loan officer, a hustler, a future wife to your now boyfriend, right?
Sheesh, already putting a ring on me? Lord.
Any more? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else or that we should add to the list?
No.
Hustler, grinder,
Child of God.
all the above.
Child of God. Child of God. Okay. So basically we wanted to bring you on the podcast because, I mean, one, you're a hustling woman, but two, you're in a big male-dominant industry as far as finance goes. You know, so I know you've been doing finance for years, right? I mean, a few years now. So what got you into the whole finance industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So I wish I had, this extravagant story for y'all about how I got into finance. Honestly, and if you probably know me, you probably heard this story already, so I'll let you know for who doesn't know me. When I was in 5th grade, they had us write a paper of who we wanted to be when we grew up. I did not know who I wanted to be. I did not know what I wanted to be. I did not know what I wanted to do. But I remember writing on this paper saying that I was going to grow up and I was going to wear suits and I was going to have a briefcase and I was going to drive an Audi. Definitely don't drive an Audi.
Wow.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Your Infinity's nice though.
I love my car. I love my car. But it's stuck with me my whole entire life. I said I was just going to be a businesswoman. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know who I was going to become, but I knew I wanted to be this, suit wearing, briefcase holding off in my office with my little Audi. So obviously life happens, and you have kids at 19 and 20 and things tend not to go the way that you thought. But I knew I had this vision of myself since growing up of what I wanted to be and who I wanted to become. So I stumbled upon banking when I started at Wells Fargo. So I started at Wells Fargo, which Wells Fargo led me to Regions, which led me to USAA, which now led me to here. I'm just really good at banking. I'm really good at numbers. I love everything about banking. Law sounds pretty boring, but I like laws. I like reading about guidelines. I'm weird. But yeah, banking's it for me. I love everything about it. I love doing it. I love the numbers. I love the guidelines. I love the regulations. I just know it, and I love it.
So you would say you're more of a numbers person then, for sure?
I am a number. It's not that I'm a numbers person. I like finding solutions to problems. Like it has to, for me, make sense. So yes, I do have a tendency of being stubborn, but because it has to be proven. Like if you tell me, the one thing that I hate to hear is, well, that's just how we always done it, or that's just how we did it before. Well, that doesn't make sense. Like
Yeah.
what? Like what? Like show me. I want to read, why we're doing what we're doing, and if there is some way where it could be fixed, let's figure it out. Let's find a solution. So I am solution oriented.
Well, so do you think being stubborn helps, or stubborn, because people call me stubborn all the time.
Yeah.
But do you think that helps in what you do today?
I am stubborn in the fact that, if I firmly believe in something, it's going to take a lot for me to be proven wrong. But I am very open. I do believe you do have to have a growth mindset and be open to other opinions and ideas. But I am stubborn, and if you can't prove to me why you're trying to put this on me, I'm not going to accept it.
I'm the same way. That's why I was asking, because if you don't have the facts, it doesn't exist to me. I can't agree with you because I'm not understanding.
There.
Yeah, I'm not understanding how you're getting from point A to point B.
It doesn't connect.
Yeah, my major is economics, so I'm extremely analytical, so it just has to make sense to me.
Okay. So how do you mesh that with being creative though? Because doesn't that get kind of tiring just being like straight analytical all the time? So do you get the creative side, or?
Absolutely. So that's what I mean. You're great partners, right? Because you're extremely creative. You make me think outside the box. So I love creativity. I love dabbing into that type. It does make me a little bit more freeing. It is a little bit more freeing when you do have an analytical mindset. But when you become creative, you got to think outside the box, right? And in mortgage, or just what I do in general in banking, you have to be able to think outside the box, right? There's not one answer to something. There's always, well, let's try this, or let's try this, or let's try this. So you always have to be creative, but you got to know what you're doing in order to be creative.
Agreed.
That makes sense.
No, I understand.
Wait, so there's ways to be creative in banking, though? I thought banking is like, you come in, open up account, boom.
Yeah.
Give us $1,000, you can open an account, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So just in banking in general, where do typically people store their money, right? Free checking. Why is it free though? Right? Why is a checking free? Well, because you're putting your money and you're not really getting anything, but your money's just sitting in the bank, right? Versus you get creative, you see, what type of liquid assets they have. Maybe we could do a money market account where now your money's now getting, you're now getting paid for having that money in that account, right? So that's where you got to get creative and think outside the box and find out information about these people, deepening the relationship with them, establish trust, let them open up, because you may have come to me because you want, maybe because I used to do auto loans as well, but now I found out why you're wanting an auto loan, right? You have a family. Boom, right there. Well, now you need life insurance, right? And so you got to deepen and you got to ask questions, but you got to build trust first for these people to open up to you, to allow you to have that information.
That makes sense. Okay.
I did not think of it like that at all.
I didn't either.
To me, it's just like, oh, you want an auto loan? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah,
oh, you get approved? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you want a bank account?
But that sells, though. I mean, it sells again. Everything sells is banking. It sells.
Well, banking, normally people have to use that, Especially for anything that you're going to do on credit, you have to go through a bank to use it now. You know what I mean? Even the government, that's the largest bank. So realistically, you have to use a bank in everyday life. So I think it's just kind of one of those things that's always going to be around.
Yeah.
So, but it's cool to hear that there's people that are doing it creatively too. Because I literally, every time I go to the bank, and this is no shade on Bank of America at all, but y'all suck. But every time I go to Bank of America, they're like, oh, you want to deposit something? I'm like, yeah, here you go. I'm like, all right, cool. It'll be there by Monday. Monday comes around, not there. Yeah. Tuesday comes around, not there. I call them. They put me on hold for like 3 hours. They finally answer, and they're like, we can't help you. I'm like, well, fuck y'all. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the next Monday comes, it's still not there. I'm like, dude, y'all have had my money for fucking 2 weeks now. Like, give me my shit. Like, why do I not have my shit?
I think that's the difference between when somebody does something for a job to get paid versus when somebody does something for a purpose. I wake up every single day trying to figure out how I can help others, right? That's my mission. I'm purpose driven. So I'm intentional with my interactions. So no, you're not just a deposit. Oh, I see this amount. We built a relationship. I see you next week. I see you the following week. Now we know each other. And so now you establish those relationships, build trust, and then people are like, oh, what else do you have for me? And then people are more willing to hear you because one, you showed interest, right? And two, you built that relationship and trust.
So is that how you think you got to where you are today? Just by building those relationships and kind of cultivating rather than just like another ticket pulled or just another number type deal?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've taken a look back in my life and I 1,000% know that I'm here for a reason, in mortgage for a reason. I absolutely love what I do, but yes, it is because I'm able to build those relationships. People can smell greed a mile away. A mile away. Yeah. And some people, like people who are just business and straightforward and blah, 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 but that's not how I do business. I genuinely strive after relationship and trust. So mortgage, obviously being a commission loan officer, it is, you are based off a commission and you do have to network and you do have to kind of put yourself out there. But there's no doubt in my mind that I will be successful because my intentions are pure. Like I do things the right way. I wake up every day knowing that, I give it my all. And I'm not going to win everything. I'm not going to slam dunk everything, but I'm going to try. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try and I'm going to give it my all. And when I put my heart into everything, I'm fine with the outcome.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's a good way to put it. Because I feel like people feel like they have to win every single time, every single day. But it just doesn't happen like that all the time.
But there's lessons in loss.
Yeah, exactly. So it's important to lose sometimes. You can't make everything a win. Mm-hmm. Like you can't appreciate the sunshine without the rain type deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I embrace my loss, and that's when I noticed there was a change in me. Mm-hmm. Like when I started embracing my losses. Because I'm like, okay, where's the lesson? Mm-hmm. Where's the lesson? What are you trying to teach me? What are you trying to tell me right now? Where can I grow from this?
So was that like a cognitive thing? Like you realized, like you kind of just woke up like, I'm going to start embracing my losses rather than trying to win every single battle or do every single thing?
No, absolutely. So it's actually the pandemic. The pandemic, when things just, I went through absolutely anxiety and some sort of depression. I didn't even know what it was. So me, my little analytical butt, I'm like, make sense of this, right? What is this? What is this? What is this? What's going on? Why am I thinking like this? Because, in the Hispanic culture, like, you don't go to therapy.
That don't exist.
You don't go to therapy. You don't go to your mom and be like, Mom, I'm depressed. Like, what? No. Like, what? You just kind of figure it out. So I really started reading about mindset and negative mindsets and negative thought patterns and all that. And I'm like, oh, okay, there is a name to this, right? So obviously, really faith-driven, put myself in church, found an amazing Bible study group of girls that helped me and changed my perspective to this anxiety that I was having and changed, my outlook to what I was going through. And I stopped looking at it as something bad. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, this is something good, right? It's molding me. It's breaking me to become this person that I'm going to become. We have to be broken because that's where we really just sit in our thoughts and really just figure out what is it that we're doing so we can grow.
So would you say the pandemic of COVID was the situation that changed that? Or would you say finding yourself in church and then the Bible study and all that was the situation that kind of shifted that mindset?
So great question. So I already knew that I was deepening my relationship with God. I give all the glory to God. That's above all else. I am nothing, and I want to make that point very clear. I am nothing without God. He absolutely gave me grace and mercy, and even when I thought He wasn't there, He was absolutely there because I would not be where I am today. So I was already going to church, but I was just going to church, right? I was just going there on Sundays, and I was
going through the motions.
And then once I found out that I could die from COVID, like once the pandemic hit and I got COVID, I'm like, that reality check. It was like, I've never been sick, like in my entire life outside of stuff that happened to me in high school, but I'm like, I can die, like, life is really short, and so it scared me. I was like, no, and then again, just kept going to church and kept seeking and kept finding, kept looking at the promises, and I'm so thankful for Westover Hills.
Shout out Westover Hills. I don't go to Westover Hills, but she does. So.
Love Westover Hills.
And your Bible study group, right?
Yeah.
They've helped you a lot too, I guess.
Yeah, I have I actually prayed for that Bible study group. So I remember saying, I had my family, I had my work friends, but I had my life group with Westover Hills, but I didn't have a group of girls my age where we just sat around and we talked about God, right? So I remember going through, and I actually met my Bible study through Roxanne. Roxanne's a realtor here at KW. She was at a Bible study, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? And she was like, oh, you could come. So I ended up joining, and I found my sisters for life. I found them. They are the most amazing, supportive girls, and they absolutely keep me grounded and humble, and I genuinely don't know what I would do without them.
And what's also crazy is that they're all entrepreneurs too.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're all kind of like their own people.
Naomi, she has her own clothing line. Alexis in pharmaceutical sales.
Both our clients now.
Yeah, absolutely. They are amazing. They are hustlers. just divinely guided for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty crazy because I remember you telling me, like, this time last year, or no, I would say like February, I guess, like you were in the Bible study group or whatever, and that you have people who know that they're going to use you, but they were like, oh, like they didn't know, but they knew, type of thing.
Yeah.
And then you started introducing me to people for business highlights and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just ended up being all of them are in your Bible study.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny.
Any chance that I get to help them out in any way that I possibly can, I am there. They've done so much for me, they would never even know.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy though.
No, that's because I kind of felt the same way too. Like kind of whenever Carly introduced me to you, because I was kind of going through something similar to you, and I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. And so I was really just praying a lot every night, every morning, going to church, all this. I'm like, dude, I need something to like wake me up, like kind of get that drive back. Here he comes. Hey, bro. Like, hey, I'm Tyler. What's up? Like, and I'm like, bro, like, who are, like, what's up? And then Carly's like, oh, he wants to talk to you about a business highlight, and he's really like business minded, like you'd really like him, whatever. And here we are today. What, we met in April, I think.
Yeah, March. Yeah, it was when we did your business highlight.
So like 6 months later, here we are doing, like you said, he's the one, like, hey, bro, let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's go. Let's
this
do
is
it.
my first podcast ever. I never thought in a million years I'd be standing here with it. Don't get me wrong, I'll take a selfie real quick. Sitting here right here, absolutely because of Tyler.
No, let's just get something straight. It's not all because of me that they're here. They would have been in this direction regardless. It's just because I was here that pulled them in faster, I think.
Well, you kind of expedited the process a little bit.
Because I'm very much like, all right, come on, like, pop, pop, pop. I mean, we've talked about that before.
Yes, you are.
I get an idea and I'm just like, fuck it, let's go.
Hey, bro. Yeah, let's do this.
I'm telling you, if you want to be exhausted, hang out with him for a day.
This the guy.
Hang out with him for a day.
No. Anyways. So, was there ever a point in your life, because I know you said, because I was the same way when I was younger. I always said, I'm going to dress in a suit every day. Like, I'm going to go to work. Like, I'm going to work in an office building, nice-ass place, blah, blah, blah. But was there ever a point in your life that you were like, fuck, maybe I can't do this? Like, maybe that's not for me.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't say that I doubted. It's just my life kind of took a turn where, after high school, I apparently fell in love. Apparently. I guess
something like that.
Something like that. And then, I had kids at a really young age. And, life happened. And, I was with 2 kids at my mom's on food stamps, extremely overweight and depressed. I was almost 200 pounds. And you kind of just go with the motions. And you're just raising kids and you're at home. And, it really stuck with me because I heard something in that time frame. It said, if you are in the same place as you were last year, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, you're doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. And I was legitimately in the same place every single year at my mom's, taking the kids to school, not doing nothing for myself, and everything was still, and I was seeing everybody around me growing. Mm-hmm. But I had kids at a young age, and all my other friends, they were, in college and living life, and, I was seeing everybody growing but me. And so I went to church, honestly. Mm-hmm. I went to church and I got out of it.
Would you have done it differently? No?
Yeah, my boys are my prized possessions.
I know, I see you've interacted with them. Y'all are like a team.
Man,
like a little unit.
I love them. If I could chokehold them too, I would. I don't understand them. I don't know how they could smell, how they smell, and they take a bath every day, and we do laundry all the time, but they absolutely have some odor issues.
It's alright, if y'all are seeing this right now. We were probably the same way when we were younger.
Same way.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. As a girl, I would never have my room the way my boys have their room.
Clothes everywhere.
And they're fine. They're fine with it. It's their space. But, man, I'm telling you, if they only knew, they are the reason I get up every single day and I push hard for them.
Shout out to all the single young mom, teenage moms. Shout out to all y'all, for real.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because my mom was a single mom too, growing up, not understanding why it was the way it was. You know what I mean? And then when I got older, I finally realized, oh shit, she was my mom and my dad. Like, there was no father figure there. Like, that's kind of something, because you see it, you know, for basketball and stuff, you see all the families and everything, and it's like, damn, now I'm understanding. Like, now I see, okay, my family's a little bit different because of this, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the biggest things for me is everybody asks me, you know, what's your favorite thing to do for you? And I said, honestly, my happiest place outside of being at Westover Hills is watching my boys play football. And they're like, well, that's not for you. And I said, no, that is for me. That's my happy place. And so sometimes, you know, there's football games, you know, on the weekends, or sometimes you know, that I have to miss, and I genuinely try to make my schedule work around it, just because those moments are so precious to me. So precious to me. Like, if nothing else, yes, I worked my ass off. Yes, I was on my phone 24/7. Yes, I may not have been present at that family dinner, but I was at that football game. And I was the loudest person cheering every single time. Every time you ask anybody, since the boys were playing since they were 3 years old, you ask anybody, and I was the loudest mom on the field every single time. And now they got to a place where they're kind of, you know, a little embarrassed, but I don't care. I was your biggest cheerleader. I was your biggest cheerleader, and I will always be your biggest cheerleader.
No, my mom was the same way, because it was kind of a similar situation to me too. So she had to work Monday through Saturday. So if I had games on Saturday, sometimes she wouldn't be able to make it all the time. So for her, I think for her, she kind of felt bad, so she tried to make it up for, like, okay, well, on Sundays we're going to go shopping. Like, we're going to go to the mall. We're going to do this. Yeah. And so to me, I'm like, yeah, cool. We going to the mall. I get new shoes. I get new clothes. Like, we going up.
Me and Mama need to talk. Like, we are exactly the same. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so I didn't realize until later that she was kind of overcompensating for feeling bad for missing all the practices and all the games and all this stuff. Because for me in school, I was naturally smart, so I didn't really need help with homework. Yeah. She's like, yeah, just do your homework. Okay. I was doing my homework, but she wouldn't get home till like 5, 6 o'clock. So she'd come home, hey, we have to go to practice. Yep. Go to practice, I practice, come home, okay, well now you need to eat and go to sleep.
That's me.
So during the week, I would never spend time with her. And then on Saturday, she would have to work, but I'd have games. So then Sunday, she's like, okay, this is our day. Like, now we're going to go out, we're going to go shopping, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Yeah. So I definitely, everything you said, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like my mom.
Yep.
That's exactly what my mom would do.
That's it. Sundays, you know, as dead tired as I am, I go to church and we'll go to SeaWorld. Go to church and we'll go to Fiesta X. Go to church and we'll figure out
you're
something.
Cool, Mom.
Yeah.
Six Flags, the right roller coaster.
Well, remember, so that's one thing about my mom. Like, man, I did not know we did not have money growing up. I never felt it. I never felt poor. You know, I'm from the South Side. You know, and so growing up, every single summer I was at Fiesta, Texas. I remember looking one year, I don't know if my mom knows this, but one year she was doing her taxes, and I'm like, oh my God, Mom, you make $24,000? She was doing her income tax. I thought we were millionaires. Now I know. Now, man, $24,000, 5 kids.
That's nothing.
5 kids.
That's 5 kids. I was always at Fiesta, Texas. Now, granted, I never went out to eat. I didn't even know what out to eat was. But she cooked every single day where I didn't know I was poor. I never felt it.
That's crazy.
Dang, that's a great mom.
Yeah, and that's right. I had my boys there at Fiesta, Texas. Cool. Make it happen. We could, you know, don't judge my Starbucks, but we can squeeze some other spots. Yeah, we will be at SeaWorld in Fiesta, Texas in the summer.
That's good.
Yeah, mine was similar in a way, but I was a bad child when I was young. I wasn't the best, you know what I mean? So my mom like retired herself to pull out her 401k, and I wish that, obviously, even until I was probably 19, 20, I never started understanding finances at all. Like, I even had classes in high school, shout out to Mr. Kaiser, but I had classes in high school that were about balancing checkbooks and like economics and shit.
Oh, wow.
I wish.
And we had an economics class where we did the stock portfolio game. I don't know if you've ever done that or
Absolutely
whatever.
Not.
But it's all about investing in the stocks and kind of like with fake money, but it's a game to see who can get the best, right? Wow. And I didn't even know what the hell I was doing, but I ended up getting like the best portfolio out of everybody. And he was like, dang, you're really good at this stuff. And I never listened. Like, I was 16. I was like, as long as I get an A, I don't care. Like, if I'm passing, I don't give a fuck. Right? Like, that's how I was in high school. I don't care. Like, you could take that shit somewhere else. But then, you know, my mom did that, and I didn't understand that she was wasting all of her hard-earned money to make sure that she was there for us. When really I wish I would have known. Obviously, I was 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So I really didn't know. But I wish I would have known some of the stuff I know now. And I still learn from you every day about something financially, whatever, like how you can change something or how you can fix it to like level up in a way. So I wish I would have known that shit back then, or realized when I was 16, 17 that I could have been helping her then. And then she would have been a lot farther along than she is now. Because I wasn't able to help her until I was 22, so like 3 years ago, you know? So, yeah, so it's like she's been, like, I've only been able to help her for like 3 years. So it just kind of sucks because I'm like, damn, I wish I'd helped her back then. You know, she could have been 15 years ahead of where she's at now. Yeah. But it's like, damn, I didn't know all that stuff.
I mean, again, it has to go in through, again, breaking those generational, right?
The barriers.
Wanting to be better and seeing my mom. My mom is my hero. Absolutely. I appreciate my mom. Taking what she was able to, you know, instill in me, and then, you know, adding to it. I don't want to say making it better, but adding to it, and then, you know, teaching my kids, no, this with them, so they can, and again,
add to it.
So we can keep going.
Keep rising up.
Yeah.
So do you think that having your kids in football, like your sons in football, helps them a lot? Because I've always heard that having your kids in extracurricular, like sports and stuff, is good, like good for them. But
yeah, absolutely. So I really did it because, one, I just love football, but two, is because they didn't have that father figure.
So you forced the football because you like watching
football.
it.
You know, you're playing football. That's what's going to happen. But no, as a single mom, you know, and they didn't really have a father figure, I put them in there for the coaches, and they have an amazing coach. His name is George, and he's been with them since they were children, and I trust him with everything and anything. I know that, you know, he has my boys' purest intentions at heart. So yeah, I did it for the role models, for the discipline, to keep them online, to keep them with their brothers, because you develop a brotherhood in football that follows you on and on. So discipline for sure.
Yeah, I'll say that. All my friends from basketball, man, I haven't talked to y'all in years.
Jeez.
I haven't talked to them in years.
What are you doing?
I talked to a couple of my homies the other day. Like, I went to high school with Christian. Whenever I had called you the other day and I had those questions.
Yeah.
So we played football together, and so we were friends since 7th grade.
Yeah.
So from 7th grade all the way.
I thought that's the way it is. That's surprising because, like, my boyfriend literally talks to all of them. Even pulls out the pictures and everything.
But then again, I'll say, like, a lot of them are in the NBA, or like I have a friend, shout out Kendall, he's on the Packers right now. He's playing football, like, in the NFL. So there is kind of, like, I have to talk to the assistant to then get to the assistant to then get to them. So that kind of creates that barrier too, in a way. But I mean, it's more so, I guess, like, we created a brotherhood when we were there, and then after we graduated, I was like, bye.
No, I won't say that. Like, I don't have that type of community like that, but I will say that's where my boyfriend is better than me. Like, he'll absolutely, you know, call somebody after months being like, hey, what are you doing? Like, because they all live all over the country. Yeah. But he is the person that reaches out to all of them and makes sure that they stay together. Me, I'm like, she hasn't called me. I'm not calling her. I am not calling Tiffany. Not calling her. Just kidding.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of a, I heard Jack say it a while ago, like, you have to make it a priority. Like, it's not about making time, it's about making it a priority. So I feel like making those things a priority is a little different for people. You know, for me, it's like, I hate it, but it's not that big of a priority for me, just because I'm trying to, like, get to a certain point, and this is kind of what we talked about last episode. Once I get to a certain point, I know I can go back and grab them and bring them with me.
So I appreciate those type of friendships too, where you know that you are friends, but that life happens and you're now in relationships with kids and marriage and stuff, and you just can't keep in touch like that. But, you know, still pick up where you left off.
Yeah. So where do you see your future then? Because when I met you, you were a loan partner, and then you leveled up to a loan originator. But is there levels extra, like levels after that, and where do you see yourself going?
Yeah, so that's a great question. personally, and this is just me and me sound crazy, but I'm really not. I don't know. I don't really technically see myself retiring. Like, I get bored not doing stuff.
I understand that.
And so I know that I'll probably always be working. I don't know how. I love being a loan officer. I love being a loan officer. I love real estate. I love, proving people wrong. I love
your favorite part of the job.
I think that's just a women thing.
I love reading guidelines. I'll read guidelines all day. I'll read contracts. Nope, right here it says 5 p.m. Right there. It says 5 p.m.
It's 5:01.
5:01. But I think I just have a competitive nature, and I like working, and I get bored, but I'm really, again, God's will. Whatever He has planned, that's where I'm going. So right now, obviously, my life has changed dramatically in the past 5 years, from food stamps to where I am now. So I just go, and I know that wherever it is that I'm needed, wherever it is that I can serve, wherever it is that I can help, that's where I will be.
So you're not like telling yourself, oh, okay, well, I'm going to be a branch manager, then I'm going to be a regional manager, then I'm going to own this, and I'm going to own that. You're not telling yourself that. You're just kind of taking it one day at a time.
I'm going to be successful regardless.
Yeah.
But I just don't know in what aspect, because my work ethic is
it speaks for itself.
Yeah. I don't really go around kind of talking about myself. Actions. It's actions for me. Absolutely. I can be like, well, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, but I don't like to do all that talking. I will absolutely be successful, and because my work ethic and my heart. I don't know in what, but
I mean, your work ethic is there for fucking
absolutely.
Sure. Fucking give me a pre-approval at 9 p.m. at night on a Sunday. Like, shit. Okay,
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It was hard, leaving USA. I really, honestly, with USA, I thought I was going to retire. I had everything invested. I was volunteering. I had everything there, but it lacked that face contact with people. I was
that
lacking that relationship. I was disconnected. I was trying so hard to relate on the phone or show empathy and on this phone and smile and have them hear my smile, but it wasn't fulfilling, and
like it didn't feel right to you.
Yeah, I was trying, and I got a lot of compliments with my calls there, saying thank you for not talking to me like a robot, thank you for showing compassion, thank you for going above just the little tiniest bit, and explaining them, hey, this is what you're doing, this is how much you're paying out of pocket, this is what's going to cost. But like, people just want to know stuff. They don't want to be another transaction. So my sister, the reason why I actually came over to the real estate side, to the consumer facing side of this, is because my sister had the most terrible experience with a loan officer. The most terrible experience. Now, granted, she didn't have the highest dollar amount, and she was absolutely treated like it because of it.
Yeah.
She could barely get a hold of her. She felt like she was just a $200,000 sign, right? And so I absolutely am extremely protective of my family, and I said, well, that's not good, right? So I jumped ship and I came over here.
Hey, that's good though, especially when you do it for a reason.
Yeah.
Because I feel like for me, I mean, a lot of people who know me know my story in real estate, like kind of how I fell in love with it. But obviously, I love real estate. I love houses in general, like y'all see all the time, right? Like, I fucking am in love with homes in general. You know what I mean? So, but then I saw my mom like kind of get treated certain ways when we would go to open houses and stuff. We go to nice houses, and then they're like, "Oh, like, is your budget X amount of dollars?" No? Okay, well, you can walk around, like, whatever. They just move on to the next person. So, for me, it was another thing. Like, I love houses. I love design. And I can help people, to kind of realize, that not everything is just a number. And I can make money doing it, too. Like, why not? You know what I mean?
No-brainer.
Yeah, I was like, cool, everything's all in one. It's kind of like a, what's it called? Ikigai? You know what I mean? Where everything kind of intersects. I think real estate is my intersection. That's my intersection.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my ikigai. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, so don't shout me in the comments if I'm not. Don't shatter me.
Is this like a 20-year-old thing? I'm completely lost. What is that? Yeah.
It's like a centuries old.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like
I've never heard of it.
It's like finding balance between every aspect of your life.
Ikigai, yeah.
It's like something I don't know exactly what it's called.
So it's a Japanese, kind of like a Japanese, I guess, like ideology type of thing. But basically, it's the intersection point of what you love to do, what you feel good doing, what makes you happy, what can make you money, and what help you survive.
I love that.
And it's like your intersection of everything. And supposedly, through the Japanese, they kind of say that once you find that point, that's where you're going to thrive the best. And that's where you just kind of like,
I'm following.
You know? So I think real estate itself is just my ikigai. Like, just real estate.
I want to read up on that,
estate.
for sure.
Yeah, you should. You definitely should. I learned it from a guy on freaking Reels eating a dragon fruit. He was in there scooping a dragon fruit, and he was like, "Have you ever heard of ikigai?" I was like, "I have not."
Well, tell me more. Yeah, that was really good because I had heard of it before. I just haven't thought of it in a long time. Because for me, sometimes I'm like, dang, what is mine? Like, what do I like doing? But I realized recently, I think it's like business and entrepreneurship and stuff. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like, of course, it can make me money depending on how hard you work at it. But you can also help a lot of people too. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I'm more like trying to play the long game with it. Like, okay, I need to help myself first now. Then I can start doing this, and this. Then, like you said earlier, then I can come back and help everybody else.
So I have a question for the both of y'all. When we use the word entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. What, for people who are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, doing entrepreneurial work, what do you think the 3 top characteristic traits that you should ask yourself if you have within to be successful as an entrepreneur?
That's a good question.
I would say the first one is definitely a thinker. Like, you have to think outside the box. You cannot go down the normal path. You know what I mean? Even for something like us, right? You're in mortgage and you're doing numbers all day, and there's only supposed to be one way to qualify. Mm-hmm. But then when you get into it, it's like there's so many different ways. For real estate, same thing. You know, you get them with a mortgage partner, and then you show them one house that they like, or you show them 3 houses. It's like, no, sometimes you gotta think outside the box. Right? Sometimes I gotta probe agents and find something that's off market or hasn't been listed yet, mm-hmm. so they don't have to deal with multiple offers. Right? Sometimes when I have a listing, I have to call 20 agents that I personally know to come and film this shit so they can put it on social media. Mm-hmm. So it's all about thinking, I feel like, would be a number 1 characteristic, in my opinion. So.
Well, one of mine is mental toughness, and so that kind of goes back to what both of y'all said. So being in sports and being in football and basketball and all that stuff, you have to have mental toughness, of course, because you're not going to have good games every game. Mm-hmm. You're just not. You're not going to drop 20 points every time you go. You're not going to score 8 touchdowns every time. Like, you're going to lose games. Mm-hmm. And so I actually read this book. I've been meaning to give it to you. And then I'll give it to you after, too. It's called The Infinite Game. It's one of my favorite books of all time. Okay. It's basically because I'm very competitive, like the both of you are. It basically lets you know, like, life itself is an infinite game. So you're always striving to get better. There's always something more. Yeah. You can always figure out a way to win. Mm-hmm. And like you said, you always have to embrace those losses because it'll teach you how to not lose the next time. But in entrepreneurship, you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. You're not going to win every day. Yeah. You're probably going to lose more days than when you win. Yeah. Like, you're going to lose, bro. Yeah. But that one win makes all those 364 losses worth it.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But you have to get through those 364 losses. Because after you wake up every day, you get punched in the face every day just to lay back down, go to sleep, wake up, and do it again. Yeah. Like, it's very defeating.
I tell my son all the time, short-term memory. Short-term memory.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Get it, it happened, let's go.
Yeah, next.
Keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, for me, I like that one too. And for me, my 3rd one would be hustle. Like, you have to be willing to hustle. I mean, there is no stop. There is no rest. There is no red light. It's always green lights. Like, just fucking go. Mm-hmm. You know, I was always told my whole life, like, you need to slow down. I'm like, fuck that.
I need to go.
I'm not slowing down faster. You know what I mean? Like, if I could, I'd go faster than I am right now. And then I think you just have to have that hustle. You know what I mean? Because there's times where, shit, we get knocked down too. Yeah. I mean, people are like, oh, you make so much money in real estate. Well, what you don't know is 1 interest point raised and it knocked 4 of my buyers out, like instantly.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I lost 3 to new home builds.
You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, y'all make so much money. Well, we do, but we still have to work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's that hustle mentality of like, if you're an entrepreneur, you gotta hustle. That's why, you know, we're starting so much stuff. Is that, you know, being an entrepreneur, you just gotta keep hustling.
Yeah.
You know, you have
but for my girls, because they're guys, it's okay to rest. We have.
Well, I was going to speak on that too. So, like, in regards to what you said, I feel like time management is important too.
Absolutely.
That's also true.
Yeah, because like how you've been saying, like you try to do like deep work or deep focus work for X amount of hours, and if you do that for 3-4 hours, you can do more than what someone did in 8.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
Absolutely.
And now I'm saying you don't have to go 24/7, right? That's not what I'm saying.
I get what you're
at all.
Yeah.
But if you're going to use your 8 hours to go work a 9 to 5, then why not use an extra 2 or 3 hours after that to be an entrepreneur and build your business?
If that's what you want to do.
You know what I mean? Because it's like the post I showed you the other day. You have 168 hours in your week in 7 days. You have 168. So let's say you work a 9 to 5, right? So you're working your 40 hours. Let's just say you work like 56 hours, right? You did some overtime.
You're trying to get to the bag.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You did some overtime, right? Then you slept. Then you slept. Yeah, you slept 8 hours a week, right? 8 hours a day for
a week.
You know, a week. That's another 56. Okay, so we're at what, 112? What's 168 minus 112? You know what I mean?
Too much math. 56.
Like, you at home with the calculators, you can kind of add this up, right? So then you say, okay, it takes you an hour to get ready, and say it takes you an hour to get.
A
little longer than that.
My hair
for average purposes, it takes you an hour to get ready 7 days a week. That's 7 hours. It takes you an hour to go to sleep. That's 7 hours. That's 14. And you're like, oh, well, I don't have any time in the day. 112. You already worked. You did overtime, and you slept, and you got ready every single day. You know, that obviously it's not counting meals, right? But I count my meals as work time because I can always work at lunch or dinner or whatever. You know, unless it's an occasion, then, you know. What? But I mean, realistically, you're not even at 130 hours yet, and you're saying like, oh, I don't have any time. But where's the other 30 hours in your week?
Yeah, absolutely. You know? I think that's a whole other topic in itself between, you know, being busy and being productive. For sure.
Absolutely.
You can absolutely be busy and not be productive.
I mean, that goes back to what you said earlier about action. Everything is about action in entrepreneurship. It's always action driven. It's never production driven. It's not, you know, sleep driven. It's not thought driven. It's action driven. It's what are you doing in your time span of working, of like getting shit done? What are you doing in that time span compared to everything else?
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
I think it's okay to think, but don't sit there and think on an idea and not execute on it. Because we had talked about that a little bit on our previous episode. Like, don't just sit there and think all the time, because that's okay. You can think, and you don't have to hustle 24/7 and do all this. But at least put some action behind it and do it in a way that's conducive to your schedule.
I love that.
So to me, that's kind of how I do things. Like, yeah, I'm a hustler. I'm gonna get to the bag, whichever way I can. But I'm gonna do it in a way that's conducive to my schedule, to where like I don't feel like, dang, I'm dying, like I'm falling asleep on the road, like, because I have been at that point before. Like I have been. Wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you go work out, go to work, go do this, go do that. And my day's not ending until 11, 12 o'clock at night, just to do it again the next day.
I love a good schedule, though.
Yeah. Well, because it keeps me busy, and like the day just flies by.
Yeah, I love a good schedule.
And I wake up, I'm like, damn, Friday already?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, that's kind of how you have to be, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, to everyone out there, you don't always have to be strategic either.
Sometimes you just gotta go.
Sometimes you just gotta go. I mean, and I have a big problem with just going. Like, I'm really never. I mean, I'm strategic in a way, right? And I was just talking to Carly about this the other day, and I was like, you know, she said, "Oh, it's cool how you're always thinking. Like, you have such a thinking mind." And realistically, I think while I'm doing something. Yeah. Like, I think I'm already doing it, and then I'm thinking like, damn, how is this gonna work? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I've already gone. Like, I've already taken off. You know what I mean? It's kind of like one of those track meets when they shot. Like, I don't stretch. I just get on the barrier, shoot the gun, boom,
I'm running.
And then I'm like, fuck, I need to stretch while I'm running.
That's me, right? Obviously, I'm analytical, so that's me. I'm always thinking, but I have to be mindful about being present, right? Mm-hmm. Because when you're constantly thinking, you're not actually present. And we need to be present because life moves really fast. Mm-hmm. So just be present in the time that you are with your loved ones, turning stuff off and just focusing in that time.
Yeah, because I feel like that's important to add to, like how we were talking about making that a priority. So I feel like you need to make that a priority as well, but you also need to kind of find that balance. So like you can still get after it and do what you need to do, but so like my girlfriend, for example, she's usually off on Mondays, so I can work Tuesday through Sunday. I can even work today. But as soon as she's like, hey, I'm ready to go, all right, cool.
Yeah, cool.
I'll go pick her up. All right, I'm not on my phone anymore. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm cognizant, and I'm like, okay, I'm here. I'm in the present moment with you right now. But tomorrow when I wake up, I'm back at it. We back to the bag.
Pop a waffle.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
That's one thing I've had to learn, actually very recently. Because, I mean, one, yes, like I said, I just go and I do stuff, and then I do stuff for the long term, right? So when I went and got my job at the Wash Tub, it was right outside the Dominion. I was like, I know I'm gonna meet fucking millionaire clients there. I already know. I'm going there for a reason. Like, this is why I'm going to work at this specific one. They were like, oh, you want to work at Day Spa? No, I don't need to meet college kids. I need to meet the people who've already done it first. Like, those are the connections I need to meet. And I was always like, hey, like, I'm going. But very recently, I've kind of fallen back into that, like, okay, I can take like time to be cognizant of when I'm there, you know, and it's honestly helped me and Carly's relationship a shit ton. You know what I mean? Like yesterday we went to breakfast, like we were just chilling, like
you're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
We relaxed, yeah. I was like, we relaxed for a couple hours, and then when she left, I was like, okay, cool, like time to take a test, time to get some work done.
Yeah.
You know, so it's taken me a while to get to that point. I feel like this is where I can just take a step back and just like not be doing that shit.
Yeah.
But it's helping me a lot, and it's also helping me being hyper focused.
I think with me, or I've grown recently, is asking for that help, right? Because for me, done it all, always done it by myself, but you can utilize your support system. You know, hey mom, I love my mom, I would never bother her for nothing, but sometimes you just need to make a phone call to your mom.
I feel
Can you pick them up? You know, and she's not going to say no ever, but for some reason I tend to just always put the weight on my shoulders. And, you know, Stephen, my boyfriend, again, he's there and he says, you know, ask. And I just sometimes don't know how to ask. I just figure stuff out on my own, and that's just the way I operate. But utilizing your support system was huge for me, and knowing that I'm not bothering people and people actually want to help, because I would do it in a second for them. Absolutely. You called me and you said you needed to move a piece of furniture. I'd be there in a second, because I'm just that type of person. So utilizing your support system, taking care of people who take care of you, and making sure if you love somebody in this world, making sure that you at least touch base with them once a week to let them know that they are loved. Because in the world that we live in today, man,
you never know.
We gotta tell these people that we love them.
So would you count yourself in the entrepreneur ring?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I network my ass off. Absolutely. Mortgages sells. It's absolutely sells. Establishing relationships, building trust, you know, adding value, and telling people how you can add value, right? And what sets you apart and stuff. But yeah, I'm absolutely an entrepreneur. I am absolutely doing something all the time. I am absolutely a 24/7 lender. I do go to sleep at 9:30 because I wake up at 4:30. But outside of those times, my phone is on me, my laptop is on me. I'm ready to go.
So, what has been your biggest leap, entrepreneur-wise and personal-wise?
What has been my biggest
leap?
Leap?
Like, what has been the thing that's like gotten you, like from 1 to 2?
So my biggest leap was leaving USA for me, because not everybody can live off of non-stable income. You know, you have a paycheck that you know that you're going to get every week or every 2 weeks, and you know it's coming. So going from that to going from, oh man, you know, like I got 2 boys. It's all on me. You know, you know,
you're like, I gotta get shit done.
That was tough. But again, Naomi from my Bible study group, she said, commission-based is faith-based. And as long as you know what you came here to do, you don't ever have to worry. And that's why I kind of just sit back and I just kind of, because I'm in it for the long run. For me, it's a marathon. It's not a race. So I know eventually, I will, get into certain other things, but I'm just here being myself and working my butt off, and everything will fall into place. I have no doubt in my mind that I will be here for a very long time.
Yeah, that's good though. I mean, that's always a good thought process to have, is you're going to be there for a long time, not a short time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's what I was telling him the other day was, like, for me, I know where I want to be by the time I'm 60, right? Like, I know I'm going to be in business for X amount of years, right? It's just, I don't know where I'll be when I get to that point. I don't know where I'm going to be, but I know I'm going to be doing something.
And that's the scary and exciting part, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, fear stands from the unknown, but when you start embracing the unknown,
it's exciting,
Yeah.
Like, you never know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm very, I need to know. I need to know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
But, like you said, whenever you kind of start to embrace it, then it's like, okay. And then when things kind of start to work out in your favor, it's like, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. Like, okay, yeah, I can sit back.
I see you, God.
Yeah, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing there.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So I kind of have to learn more to embrace it, because I'm still trying to kind of shift and do that more. Because I'm still like, dang. Like, I'll be laying in bed like, dang, I wonder if I can do this, or what's going to happen with this, and blah, blah, blah. But then I'm like, bro, I just need to go to sleep. Like, I'll figure it out when I get there tomorrow.
And I think for me, that's the beautiful part. It's like, man, it has never not worked out in my favor. It may have not worked out the way I wanted to in that time, but God was like, nah.
Redirection.
I got something big for you.
Yeah, shift the perspective.
Redirection is God's protection. I believe it for sure.
Dang. That was good. I'm not gonna lie, you dropping gems today. You've been saying a lot of good ones today.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I had a couple of years to sit down in my room and I was like, what is this? What am I going through? What are these thought patterns?
Well, it's also good to see that you haven't wavered. You know what I mean? Like, I feel that a lot of entrepreneurs, or a lot of people who jump into that commission realm, even if they're in sales, just car sales or whatever, I feel they get very, very discouraged and they waver. You know what I mean? So I know for you, you're saying, you've been saying it's a big faith thing for you. And that's how you've kind of stood strong and not wavered. And I think that's another important aspect for people to see, is that being an entrepreneur is not the anchor. There's another anchor that's holding you there, that's allowing you to kind of skyrocket and be what you want to be.
Well, again, I've seen my life without him. And I've seen my life with him. And I wouldn't dare go back.
Exactly.
So even on the days where I know my Bible study is on 7 p.m. Tuesdays, I know that even if I'm at the gym, or even if I'm at the boys' football, I log onto that Zoom. It's obedience. It's, man, I'm tired on Sunday. I had open houses, I network, blah, 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 and Sunday I'm tired. Get up and go. Get up and go, because the only reason why you're here, and I'm not saying that you have to go to church. I'm not saying that God is in your heart. But I'm saying, for me, the reason I can stay grounded is because I make myself still do things even when I'm tired, because I need him.
Right. Well, it's kind of like what we said, there's discipline and then there's consistency. And there's motivation and then there's consistency. And it's like, when you're motivated, okay, cool, everything's going your way. But what happens when you hit the first roadblock? Then it's the discipline that makes you consistent that brings the motivation back, I feel like. Because it's like, dude, I'm not going to sit there and listen to a motivational YouTuber 8 hours a day, all day long. I'm just not going to do that shit. Like, I'm not. There might be some of you out there that do. For me, not it. I'm not with the shit. I don't even really listen to motivational speakers like that. I mean, I see reels here and there, but other than that, I'm not logging on YouTube to see a 30-minute motivational speak. I'm not buying tickets to go look at you for 2 hours just for you to tell me I suck, to try and motivate me. like I'm not gonna do
just
that.
Just 2 years with you, and I can make it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is that not right? I'm not good right now.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm not doing that shit. So I think finding the foundation is a good, a good place for people. So, You know, whether that, like you said, church, or whether it's something else, or your family, or whether it's, you know, sports, or whatever the foundation is, right? That foundation needs to be there.
You always got to keep you around you, keep you humble. Yeah. Remind you where you came from, or remind you why you even started doing half of the things.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with having, you know, friends in high places.
Too, for sure.
Yeah,
have friends in high places. Go network. Go get in circles. Man, don't forget where you came from.
Ovals, squares, whatever shapes you want to get in, bro. Just get in. Just get in them things. Man. It don't matter where you're going.
Yeah, I feel like it's important to know where you came from too, because sometimes people kind of lose that. Like I feel like they get either too ahead of themselves, or they're like, oh, I don't need that anymore. Like, yeah, I came from there, but I'm here now. Like, but you also have to remember, you were those people at one point. You know what I mean?
So, I tell everybody, I'm from the South Side. Yeah. I'm from the South Side. I'm not on that side of the Mediterranean. I'm on this side.
I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side.
Don't even put him by South Park Mall. I'm on the South Side. I'm on McCullum. So, man, I love where I came from. I'll shout it to the moon. They are, man, if I could just get them to listen, I would absolutely do anything and everything to help them out. We got a good, solid team, partnerships with some good, solid career repair company, James Warren. But man, I love me some Southside. Always and forever.
Did you go to Texas A&M, San Antonio? Right?
Nope, I didn't. So I went to McCullum High School, and then it's so funny. I'll tell you. So I actually applied to Texas State University in San Marcos, and my guidance counselor actually told me not to go because she said the dropout rate for us going straight to university was higher. So I ended up going to San Antonio College. So she's like, no, the dropout rates is really high from, you know, going straight to university. It'd be better if you go into a community college.
They told me that too. I just didn't listen.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds a fool.
My guidance counselor told me that. I was like, yeah, well, I'm going to drop out anyways. It doesn't matter. I'm going to drop out either way. No, my guidance counselor actually told me, she was like, hey, you just need to do whatever feels right. And it's funny because so my junior year, I hurt my knee, and I was supposed to get a surgery, but I just did exercises to work on my meniscus, right? And I was like, whatever. Then my senior year came around, didn't really get to play a whole lot, but I still got a scholarship to go play somewhere. And that's actually where I met like 90% of the people that put me where I am today.
Yep.
Just because of their thought processes, and like I've told you before, I saw a professor drop 500,000, you know, in the stock market and lose in 5 minutes, didn't even care. So being able to like talk to people like that was, you know, and my guidance counselor told me just do whatever you want, like do whatever feels right. And I was like, I was like, well, okay. I mean, this feels right, so I guess I'm gonna do it. She's like, do it.
Yeah. All right. That's literally my only like little regret. I really wish I would have had that university. Like, well, obviously, and after high school, that experience, that, you know.
You would have went to party.
Oh, I was doing that in high school. I was doing that in high school.
I didn't go to one single party in high school.
That's why. Really? That's why I wanted to go to Texas A&M, because of the parties I was going to in high school.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I didn't go to not one party. Now I'll say I pulled up to parties, but it wasn't to be at the party. You know, I went there.
I invited you to my parties.
Yeah, I would have went there, made some money, left. I'd have gone in there. What's up, bro? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Out.
Don't worry, I was charging to get in, so I was making money.
So you were an entrepreneur like back then. You just didn't know it.
Yeah.
You didn't know it.
I knew.
In high school?
Yeah, because I had a pool. Yes. There were pool parties, luau parties.
Bro, nah. I gotta pay. I'll see y'all later. I'm good.
I'd have been like, here's a little something. You know what I mean?
Man, I'm sick. Ain't no way. In high school, nah. I'm gonna go home and play 2K.
Yeah,
I'm good.
You haven't been to the right high school party.
I guess.
I'll tell you that now.
I never went to one, so I was always outside. I was never inside the party.
Yeah.
I would never go. I'd never go in. The one time I was going to go, as I was pulling up, the cops pulled up, and I was like, "Yep, nope, not a place for me. You turn, I'm out this thing." All right, so it's been a pleasure having you on today. So I kind of want to. I mean, we talked about a whole lot here. So I kind of wanted to give you a chance to just give you one last thing to everybody out there, you know, one last tidbit, gold nugget, something else you want to leave them with as far as, you know, what we talked about today, or just life in general.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll make it super quick, guys. Again, my name is Rosemary Flores, my whole full name. I am a loan officer with Direction Home Loans. I'll just put it like this. There's a lot of shitty people in this world, and it takes nothing to be kind. Be kind, guys. Just be kind. Yeah, be kind. God don't like ugly. Be kind.
That's a good one. We hear that all the time in life. We never think about it. So, is there something else you want to leave them with?
I mean, just the same thing she said, like, be kind. Like, you never know what people are going through. And so, and like we said, entrepreneurship is difficult. It's hard. If you're thinking of getting into it, you never know what someone's going through. So, you never know who you might meet. You never know who knows who.
Yeah.
So I would just say, be kind. Be cognizant of what people might be going through, and just try your best.
And just,
what's up?
I love that. Just to piggyback off of that, I personally think that, you know, comparison is the thief of joy. Your story is not his story, my story. Do not let anybody talk you out of doing something that you want to do. If you really are passionate about it and you really want to try it, please try it. Do not let somebody else's bad experience affect yours.
Yeah, exactly what we talked about last time too. Anything you got to say?
I'm gonna say, make sure you find your foundation, because that's one thing that I feel like we all talked about in a way, and yet they were all different. So hers is faith-based. You know, for me, it's my family, like my mother, right? And seeing my family, right? For you, it's kind of that same situation. So I would say, find your foundation. Find the foundation of whatever's getting you through, and then just keep using that to push you through. You know, find that foundation, and everything else will kind of go from there.
Tough times don't last, tough people do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a lot of quotes.
That's a good. I'll write them
That's a billboard quote right there.
Yeah.
But thank you all for watching this week's podcast. We had Rose, right? Like I said, the Empire Realty Group's partner, the lending partner over here. She gets everything done, and as you can see from what she said, she gets it done regardless, right? She's been getting it done. So thank you so much for being on today. Thank y'all for watching. Me and Anthony, we're signing out. We'll see y'all, 2 weeks from now?
Yes, sir. We'll be back.
We'll see y'all 2 weeks from now, so stay tuned.